I absolutely love experimenting with new mediums, but I know how intimidating something like Encaustic Monotype can look. So if you've been curious about printmaking with wax, but haven't felt brave enough to try it yet, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you my step-by-step process as a beginner myself. I'm not an encaustic artist, I'm a printmaker and painter. I will show you materials and tools you need to have and give you some tips how you can save on those materials. And at the end, for traditional printmakers like me, I have a bonus. I will show you a few experiments when I try to combine traditional print with encaustic. So let's make some encaustic art. So this printmaking session is my second try with encaustic. I tried it once earlier, but I didn't record it. But here you can see some of the works I created. They are not the best works. They were just experiments and seeing what I can achieve with encaustic paint. So the first thing about encaustic is you need to take care of the safety. So you need to have a very good ventilation, proper ventilation, and you need to have a thermometer to measure your temperature of your griddle. So here is the setup. Here what you need: griddle, thermometer, you need encaustic paints, you need brushes with natural bristles. You cannot use synthetic bristles. And you can see also I have an aluminum plate on my griddle. It will be used as a monotype plate. It needs to be anodized aluminum, and there is a company called Encausticos who sells them, but they are quite expensive. So I found another solution. I found the baking foam, which has removable bottom part, which is anodized aluminum, and it's much cheaper. So I'm using that. I will put link to the description. So you also need encaustic paints, and I recommend buying a set of encaustic paints by R&F, where you have different colors, and also you have encaustic medium which you need, and some containers for melting encaustic mediums, and some brushes. So it costs a little, but I think it's a great option for buying a set which will help you. And you can also make your own paints, like the one you could see in the video. So how do you make them? You simply melt encaustic medium, and then you can add some oil paint, not much, and also maybe quarter of a square inch. But first you need to put this oil paint on a cardboard and wait until the linseed oil from the paint soaked into the cardboard. So you are using almost pure pigment when mixing with encaustic medium. So here you can see the paints I created. I used those long ice cube trays to pour them and to create those paints. So I'll put all of that in the description. And I start. So this whole encaustic thing is about playing with paints and applying it to the plate. And I will be using here both the paints which I made, which are less pigmented than the original R&F paint, which are beautifully pigmented and very colorful. And you use different tools to move the paint, to draw, to create shapes. You need to use tools that are heat resistant, so either wooden tools or silicone tools. I use tools which are typically used in kitchen applications. So you create those images on a plate, and then you transfer it to the paper. What kind of paper? I was using a thin paper for Sumi ink drawings, and it worked perfectly. So you'll find all of that in the description. And you can see here there is a thermometer. You need to measure your temperature. You need to maintain temperature between 180 and maximum 200 Fahrenheit. So the melting medium and melting paints will not start giving you fumes, which are a little bit unhealthy. So you press the paper and then you see the magic, and you see how the paints are starting showing on the backside of the paper. Here I'm using a barren covered with aluminum foil. Press it lightly, and then you will see the first print. And here it is. And it dries quite quickly, and it will have this like waxy surface. So then you can either print the Gauss print, or you can start adding new paint. So here I'm adding lighter colors, and now I'm adding the Chinese markers, which are wax-based crayons. You can also use oil pastels to some extent, so I got those beautiful neon colors which I was adding to the plate. And the next print. So as you can see, it's very playful, it's very expressive. I didn't like this one very much, so I decided to add something more. You can have a lot of fun with that medium. Comparing to traditional printmaking and monotypes, I find it less predictable, less controllable. You do not have a control like when working with briars. So if I compare it to the traditional printmaking, I would say for me it's most similar to watercolor monotypes. Here I'm cleaning my plate with the soy wax. You can use soy wax to clean your brushes and also to clean your plate. In this kit I showed you earlier, RNF, you have paints, you have brushes, you have encaustic medium, and you also have this soy wax for cleaning. So you can be very experimental. You can try using different tools, different marks. You can move the paint on the plate, and you just play. I think this is a great medium for artists who like this intuitive, expressive work, and for artists who like working abstractly. I haven't tried to create like more figurative works, and I'm not sure how it will work, so maybe it's a little bit more challenging to do that. But it's very spontaneous. You can create a lot of works in a short time. So it's a very interesting medium to experiment with. So if you want to feel like a child again and play, that's the thing you can do and can try. Oh, I love this vibrant green here showing. And this is the RNF red encaustic paint, and it's so vibrant, so delicious, so yummy. This is again the China marker, and another one. So very interesting textures, very expressive. And depending on the temperature of your hot plate, the inks will behave a little bit differently. And you need to be also careful about the temperature, because part of the hot plate can be the right temperature and the other part can be too hot, so you need to check it, and it's better always have to on a lower temperature. You cannot get to the situation when you see some smoke coming from the plate. It means that it's too hot and the fumes can be a little bit dangerous. So you really need to have a proper ventilation, and I think it's best if you go to RNF webpage. I will put link in the description and check. They have the whole section about the safety of using encaustic paints and encaustic mediums. But as you can see, it's a lot of fun. You can try different marks, different colors. You need to be careful because it gets hot, so you need to be careful not to burn yourself. So what I like about this medium, I like that it's really expressive, it's flowing, it's fun. You can create many artworks during one session, and so it's very fast. What I don't like about this medium, that you need to have a special space, either in a studio or in a home. It's very messy, so you need to have a space where, things can get dirty. You need to have very good ventilation. So I usually work in my home basement studio, but I don't have windows there, so I had to work on my kitchen table to be close to the window. So I had my window open. I had also some fan, which was moving the air in the room. So I don't like this part, that it requires very good ventilation and it's very messy. Also, to some degree, I don't like its total unpredictability. I mean, I like element of surprise, but I don't like the fact that it's, I think, non-predictable, or maybe I don't know this medium so well, I guess. And I don't know how to frame them because it's difficult to attach something which has wax on it on the back. So there are challenges of attaching it to the cradle panels and also with framing it with the mat. So if you have any ideas how to do this, share that in the comments. Here are some of the prints from this session, and this one, the last one, was created also by drawing directly on the paper. And here is the bonus section. So here are the traditional monotypes made with a jelly plate or with an etching press, covered with encaustic mediums and paints. We've added some pan pastel on top of that, the gold. And I like the translucency effect I got. Here is the collagraph, and here again collagraph print with encaustic mediums. Also here, and encaustic mediums and pan pastel. Pan pastels work amazing with encaustic mediums and encaustic paints. So that's it for today. This is the book I recommend if you'd like to learn more about encaustic art. It's also a section about encaustic in print. printmaking. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching and see you next time.